Hello, lore heads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today we're talking about the star child Soraka, who was released February 21st, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's old, and not just because she's from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of nice to get back to, like, the very first sentence is like, since the eons or dawn of whatever. It's like, oh, yeah. Immerse me in it.
Right?
We're in the sky, baby. Let's go. There are no rules here. Actually, there seem like there are way more rules there.
I know, right?
Sky sounds horrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there.
Like, no.
It's very rigid.
Yeah. You must follow the stars.
Except you kind
make
of
the stars make sense.
Right.
Kind of not.
Sometimes you can
Yeah.
not
Bullshit.
follow the stars, whatever.
That's
it don't
true.
matter.
What's even the point of them?
It don't matter.
Anyway, in conclusion, Soraka, pointless. Moving on.
That's the episode,
We're
folks.
done. I mean, she didn't help in the ruination. She doesn't help in the old lore. Turning murderers into werewolves. That ought to stop him. I know we already ripped that apart, but it's just still so fucking funny to me.
Don't worry, we'll
Maybe
get back
she
into
thought it would work, and it just was a really bad play. It's just like, I miscalculated. That one's on me.
I was going for a chihuahua, not a werewolf. That was my
say
bad.
she didn't like read the stars properly. She saw a wolf and was like, "Oh, you must have to be a wolf," you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was a metaphor, Soraka.
Sorry, Celestials don't get metaphors.
All right, what does she sound like?
I really liked one of her Legends of Runeterra quotes.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, because let me listen to it. She goes, "Stars."
That's it. She just
That's
says
it.
stars.
Is she like,
That's what
is she
she-
calling for him?
She's dying, so she's like, "Stars."
Oh.
Shit, she sounds awfully, I don't know, giddy while she's dying.
Well, that's me. I'm just so
that's
happy
just
about
how
it 'cause it's such
okay.
I'm coloring the. I'm sorry. I'm tainting the impression.
It's okay. I'm trying to remember some of her lines. You wrote down some, John, but I cannot, for the life of me, hear
Think
that
like
in
you're
her
ulting
voice.
everyone.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Stars hear me.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You reminded me that I play Soraka.
You played her last night.
Well,
No, you didn't. No, or did you? No, there was an
That's a
enemy
good
Soraka.
question.
That's
Okay.
what it
There
was.
was an enemy Soraka. Yeah. Played against a Soraka. Yes, that was a banana. No one expects the banana.
ridiculous. I did listen to that quote specifically, but I figured you wanted to say that one. You know, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know my man.
Yes,
You'll leave
it's
him
a
the banana. Yeah.
Go leave him banana.
I gotta give the people the banana.
John. All right. On the Riot Universe page, she has a bio and a short story, and that's all that's linked.
I think that's all there is. I don't think they missed anything, or there's
There
no
is.
hidden.
Yeah.
There is one, apparently.
Well, it's not. No, well, it's
Well,
it's a
you're talking about
Syndra
the-
story, but
Oh, okay. That's right.
she does play a very pivotal part in it.
Interesting.
From my read on that, doesn't she just show up at the end though? Like she's not in it throughout the whole
I feel like
thing. Is that
that's
right?
just Soraka's
She
thing,
shows up
right?
at the end, but she shows up at the end in a flashback to before the story started.
Oh,
That
okay.
interaction's what kicked off the entire story.
Okay, I really skimmed it and I just read the very end part and I assumed that it concluded with that. I did not realize that was like the whole framing for like what was going on.
No worries.
Okay.
I'll get into that story a bit because I
Okay.
actually enjoyed that one a lot. We will be
It
getting
looked
to
like
it
it would be-
soon, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like it would be real good just from the thing she does, the seer part that she does. I was like, ooh, that's a really cool ending. I can't wait to read the back half of like the rest of the story and see what's all good about how this concludes. So
man,
cool.
it really kind of fucks up the rest of the story.
I'll forget.
story.
Don't fucking worry about it. I'll forget.
I'm excited for Syndra.
Yeah.
She's one
Yeah,
of the characters
same.
I like. Yeah.
So
The bio.
by the way, by
Mm-hmm.
Michael Yi Chow.
Okay. This is honestly, I think, maybe the least amount of notes I have for a bio, or close to, except when I have no notes, obviously. But
Those don't count.
with the exception of
getting
like the
a 4 on a
Heimerdingers. Yeah, it's like not a short bio, but man, it was easy to summarize because it was quite wordy for no reason at all. At the first breath of creation.
An age ago when time itself was young.
I could do our normal joke here. I had to do one of our old ones. Yeah, anyway, there were a bunch of like judgmental star people. They didn't like how things in Runeterra were going. That's what they're doing. They're all these celestial beings just like, oh, they're doing it wrong.
I wouldn't have done things that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that.
Back in my day, people listened to the stars.
Like when time was young.
You're supposed to respect your elders. Take your hat off indoors.
That's specifically why
That's what they
Soraka came
wanted.
down. She saw them wearing their
Oh,
hats.
God,
and
they're
she was
wearing
like,
their
oh
hats.
no,
No one's
I've got to
wearing
stop
hats.
this.
Yeah.
Elbows are on their table. This is preposterous. Anyway, they thought humans were ignoring all their like star destiny maps or whatever. So Soraka went down to try to help him out. Apparently being in a human form burns her all the time, but she does it anyway, and this never comes up again. It was super weird.
Right?
I didn't really get why they put Aphelios, like that whole thing was like devastating and made sense and it was really
Yeah.
good. But
they
Soraka
mentioned it more than once.
just, yeah.
In
And it-
constant
yeah.
pain. The
But
magic,
I
it's like
just-
acid in
In
her
so
veins.
much pain, can't talk.
Anyway, at first Soraka was trying to get people to follow their paths that the Celestials made, but eventually she noticed that they were creating their own patterns and that they were so cool and beautiful on their own or whatever. So now she tries to guide people towards their potential rather than, just shepherding them is the word that they used. She lives in Targon now, watching over some Vestians there, and that's really it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think those Vestians, are those the Legends of Runeterra Vestians from the cinematic?
They must be. They must be. Because it's the only way. I was trying to figure out who the fuck those people were. And I was like, oh yeah, it must be Vestians. And it's
don't
really
think
an
I've-
excuse for them all to look like Soraka, right?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
There was that like one LOR cinematic with that little flying, like a little flying like a baby Pegasus that
Those are called
got lost.
Stellacorns, in case you're curious.
Oh my fucking god, shut up. That's something like a 10-year-old girl would name her unicorn doll.
Her
What's a
name
good
is
name?
Stella, and she's a unicorn.
Her name
she's
is
a Stellacorn.
Stellacorn. They were just doing impressions of her daughter in the future.
You're
But-
dunking on her from the past.
I know. we're
Poppy, if you're listening to this in the future, I meant every fucking word.
You gave him a hard time when he tried to put you to bed tonight. He's just salty. I came in and she immediately calmed down and went to sleep. It was pretty harsh. Yeah. Anywho, yeah, I don't think of Vestians as being anywhere other than Ionia. So it's interesting that there's like
Even though there's a lot like in Shurima too.
that's true, and like Ishtal and stuff. I'm
And
an idiot.
Piltover.
I don't know why. Okay, you know what, John?
But like Piltover feels like Piltover's a big trade hub. People go through
There's
it all
just
the
like
time.
a lot of people there. Like they're not from Piltover.
Yeah, right. And Shurima feels close to Ionia. Targon's on like the other fucking. It's on the west coast, man. They did a curl
These are
cross
those-
country.
So them LA Vestians.
Oh my god, that's what
Hey,
I want to
bro, let's go. Check out Sweet Ears. Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
You
don't have a ton of notes on the bio.
Yeah.
I will say one thing. So they said the guidance and fates that had been woven into the night sky, often when unseen, or worse, they were misinterpreted by their simple mortal minds. And like, yeah, no shit. Like, have you looked at fucking constellations?
I
It'll just be
know.
like
What-
a line, and they'll be like, "No, that's a scorpion." Like, no, fuck you. That's not a scorpion. Make your signs in the sky more clear, and maybe the humans would, actually listen to them.
I would love it if it was just like letters. It was like fucking stop. It's like, I don't know. I think maybe we
Get
should
your shit
go.
Humans.
Yeah. Something you missed from the bio is that it's even. She's not like completely. Some say, but it's kind of close. It's like, oh, there's rumors in the Freljord of this goat lady, and then Shurima or whatever. I thought that was funny. They're hitting all the high notes, right? Like, she's not like, This is funny that they've got the first breath of creation. They got that, right?
Noticeably missing from that list was Demacia. where I'm sure if she went, she would have healed the
She'd
king
be-
himself and then been killed by the
I
mage
was gonna say
seeker.
she'd be shot on sight. Are you kidding?
She's like,
she's
wait,
just
you
a
related to that
purple-skinned
other
lady.
purple-skinned?
She's got a
gonna say-
horn though. I don't know.
They
And she
get a
can't wear
pass.
hats.
Just say
We've
put a
already
hat on it.
established she can't wear hats.
It's rude.
It's rude.
Madam, your bonnet is quite impressive. Come in. Welcome to the great city of Demacia.
You must be so happy to see me.
Yeah. I think that's her other joke, right?
Oh, what? She has a
Said,
dick
I'm not
joke?
happy to see you, but I am. That yes, that's a horn on my
Oh
on my
my
head.
god.
But I really didn't like the bio. I like the short story, but the bio, it's like you said, it's very wordy. It's like it's written in this really like kind of sweeping, detached sort of way, right? Which when I start reading stuff like that, it's just like I start blanking out so fucking hard because it's like I don't know. It's like it just feels so like I don't know. You know what I'm talking about? It just feels so
Yeah.
like stereotypical kind of fantasy. Sort of
Yeah.
like, oh, the great celestial weave has been, shattered. But it's like, man, what the fuck ever. Whatever.
No,
man.
yeah, I'm with you. Things about like destiny and stuff not appealing to me whatsoever in fantasy or anything. I find it so boring. So yeah, this I couldn't tell if it was just boring or not my kind of thing. I don't know.
I feel like I don't have any strong feelings against Destiny, and I wasn't super enthused about it,
Okay.
so...
Yeah, it's those ideas can work fine. It's just a matter of execution, and it's just because it's written in this way that's so, like I said, I think detached is what for me it feels like. Where
Yeah,
it's like
that's true.
I'm reading some tome about the history of Soraka, which I guess maybe that's what it's supposed to be like with a bio. I don't know. The other thing that
Also-
frustrates me is like, go ahead.
Go for it. You got another... I had another frustration, so...
Sure, well, we'll complain a little bit. It's like, okay, we've been doing this for a while, right? I still cannot tell you what the fuck a celestial actually is, or what the celestial realm is, or like what their goals are, what they're doing when they're talking about this fates and the weave and all this bullshit. Like, what is it? I can guess, right?
I think we have to wait till Zoe, and then we'll know
Great.
The
at the very end.
plans of the Celestials are not for our mortal minds,
Ah,
Mark.
true. Yeah.
Can they be for my mind as a reader, though, right? Like,
You could not comprehend the weave!
but so that the issue there is that then when Soraka gives up her celestial ass, like the celestial whatever, and becomes mortal, I don't know what that means really, right? Like in the old lore, I get it because it's very explicit that like, hey, she gave up her immortality. In the old lore, it's like she is literally going down rungs on the evolutionary ladder, which is a
Right.
line they like.
Whoa, what? Okay.
She kind of de-evolves a little bit. I don't know. That's why she got goat legs, I guess, is the answer. But here it's like, okay, yeah, I get that she's filled with pain or whatever. But then in the short story, it even seems like it's only when she's healing, which I think is just to
Yeah.
explain her heal mechanic in game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, even her coming down in the first place, too. So, I mean, they make it kind of clear that, the Celestials kind of see what's going on down here, right? Like, they've got the eye in the sky, if you will. And one of the things they said after she, gave up her celestialness to come join is she quickly learned the capacity for cruelty that the people of Runeterra possessed. And, like, that's definitely something you should have assessed before deciding to come down here. 'Cause, yeah, they fucking suck down here.
Not everyone.
that's-
She also found the beauty.
I guess. But it does seem like when they're saying like, oh, they're fucking up the fate we designed for them, it seems like that cruelty would be a really big factor in that, right? They're fucking it up by stabbing everyone. Please stop. Get Sivir out of there.
We were so clear not to stab people unless you're Pantheon.
Right.
Then stabbing
Yeah.
is recommended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
was
know.
about what I expected, I guess.
I
From
suppo-
the
yeah,
little I knew
yeah.
of Soraka. I figured it was just this.
I guess. I guess I just hoped. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's gotten a bunch of different like changes to her lore through the years, and I kind of figured on iteration 3, by round 3, maybe we can get some stuff really nailed down. But no.
Well, you know what they say, fourth
Nope.
time's the charm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, maybe.
right, the short story.
Sure. Yeah. It's called like Halfway Between the Stars and. Did they say Earth? I actually didn't write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, halfway between the
Oh.
stars
And
and
Earth.
Earth.
Are we on Earth in Runeterra?
Shame. I guess halfway between the
Wait,
stars
is this
and
the
Runeterra,
KDA
it
universe?
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck. That explains so much. Yeah. So this is by Katie Chironis?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Which that name popped up like just last
It was
episode.
recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I liked
I feel like
this one too.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
say,
I
I
like
feel
this
like we liked the last one.
What was the last
Yeah.
one?
It's the Sono one, right?
Oh, is it the action piece? Or
Probably the one last show, I bet.
Excuse me.
One
Okay.
One last
Yeah.
performance. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is Soraka. She's so it's following an evening with Soraka. Essentially, she's on the western, I think, side of like Mount Targon, not at the peak, but like up on the side of it. And she's expecting a guest. It's a perfect night for tea, and she is expecting a guest. And she's in her little hut, her yurt, and she hears some commotion outside right on time and goes out, and there is a young girl. Did they? They didn't give her a name, right? Just a young woman.
I do not have a name written down if they did.
I didn't write it down because I don't think they
I
ever
kind of
named
feel
her.
like they did, though. I'll look it up while you continue, and then I'll chime back in.
I think they don't. I think they only ever call her the girl.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's sad is that I read this like 35 minutes ago, and I couldn't tell you.
It's like you almost assume they're going to name them some fantasy name that's going to fall out of your head. But I think it was a little smarter to have her not be named. It just feels more, I don't know, appropriate, I guess. But she's being harried by some wolves, and Soraka uses her Q to scare off the wolves, but does accidentally hurt one and heals it, right? Heals it, and that's where we see that when she heals, it seems like they kind of refined the idea of like that persistent pain a little more, where it's like when she's using her healing magic, it is what hurts her. She's not in like constant all the time pain, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
And she's the wolves kind of run off, and the girl's there, and at first the girl's like kind of like still holding her spear up, and then she kind of realizes that like she's frostbitten up to about her elbows, and her hands are literally frozen to the spear, and she just like can't let it go. And they start talking, and Soraka is sort of healing this girl, and she's learning that the girl was a member of the Rec Corps, and she's not a warrior. Everyone else in her family, especially their mother, are really famed warriors, and the girl, I don't know, I guess she just feels like doesn't belong, right? And so she's trying to ascend the peak to like prove that I'm gonna come back as a fucking cool ass warrior, and I'll show them all. And Soraka's like,
helmet.
Soraka's like, look, you gotta want it, and you don't want it. So if you go up there, you're gonna fucking die because you're not gonna make it. And she also kind of talks a little bit about Leona and Diana, and it's kind of as an example of like, here are people who did really commit to it, heart, mind, and soul. You're not it, just so you know.
You're not it, kid. You don't got the spark. You're missing the moxie.
I would love it if that was her fucking voice, frankly.
Yo, dude.
She's what's his face from Rocky. Oh my god, whatever the fuck his name is. But she heals the girl, and she's trying to kind of guide her, like, hey, you don't have to do this. You can do other things. You don't have to be a warrior. And the girl's sort of like, well, okay, but what? Where do I go? And Soraka's like, don't worry, we'll talk about it. But first, come in and have some tea. It's a perfect night for tea. And that's where the story ends. And I kind of thought that it was going to go on for like double its length, but instead it just ends. But that's really it.
Yeah.
So can I throw out there that Soraka is Jesus? I'll just say she came down from the heavenly realm, right? Took on a vessel of flesh and blood to help and save the wayward mortals, and she's into carpentry. So
that's
there
true.
You go.
But she doesn't shepherd anymore.
Although it's not her strongest suit.
Not her strongest
which,
suit.
I mean, could be the same, because, I mean, it was Jesus' dad,
Jesus
really.
might have sucked as a carpenter. We don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know
fair.
if he was any good.
That's my
And
thesis.
he goes through constant suffering. So.
That's that's the clincher, right? Lot of suffering and pain. So
and there was that time that they crucified Soraka.
Yeah,
that was a weird scene,
that.
right?
Yeah, it was kind of
came out of nowhere.
It seemed like a weird tonal shift.
But yeah, I like this one a lot more. I like Soraka. Soraka has a lot more of she has a personality here. It's kind of fun to see her. She's in her little hut, and she's looking at all of her little knickknacks and kind of just seems to like appreciate like, oh, that stone dog is from like time eons past, like when Shurima was still an empire, or maybe before then, and this is something from Vandal City, and she just seems to kind of like her little home, and she's just getting ready for this person to come, and I don't know, it all worked a lot more for me than like the bio. It was way more personal.
Yeah.
Like if this wasn't in a super snowy area, totally my vibe for what I want to do when I'm
the fact that it's
age.
in a snowy area, that's my vibe for what I want to do. So we're just gonna separate it as older people, I guess.
Yeah, when we get,
we'll have like
what is it, several thousand years old like she is, then
I was thinking like 60s.
oh
It's retirement age, John.
I was thinking like 30s.
that's cool. That's cool. That's fine.
I'm just saying, we're retired. I'm not going to some tropical place. I'm not retiring in Florida. That's all
I'm
I'm
not
retiring.
retiring in Florida.
Okay,
don't worry.
good.
So there was when she was going through all her knickknacks and things like that, she one of them was said, "And oldest of all, surely older than anything mortal, was a stone dog from the old days of Nashrame. She owed that city another visit. She hadn't been back in centuries, and she had a fondness for its people," which is a little awkward because I don't think you're gonna find it.
Yeah, do you think she knows?
Which one's Nostrame
You would
again?
think that as a seer she should, right?
Yeah, the seer thing is weird, I'll say, because she doesn't like. Oh no, I'm DCing.
I know. I was gonna
Sorry,
say
this keeps
it
happening.
got like very quiet.
So quiet. It was really
Don't
weird.
worry, I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
I'm sure they're talking too.
Oh, he can't hear us. We can hear him.
No.
Funny. And he's frozen.
This is great
on such a
content right
pleasant
here.
pace. It is good content, Mark. Don't fucking say that.
Good
Right.
content.
I know it is good content.
We're creating the good content.
Yeah. By responding to him when he can't hear us.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Can you
We
hear
could
us
hear
now?
you the whole time, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we could hear you. You just couldn't hear us.
So we were just replying to you.
Beautiful. Excellent.
Now we don't need to cut anything out.
Anyway, I
Lovely.
forget what Nostrame was. Was that's Shurima, I assume. Which city was that? I don't remember.
I want to say it was like a big market city that was in the north. It may have. I mean, I think it's a question of like. I mean, every
But you
city.
said it's not there anymore, John?
I think it got blowed up.
It got blowed up?
Or do you mean in like the? You don't mean in the bloodlines, do you?
No,
God,
no,
so
no,
many
like,
Shuriman
No.
cities have been destroyed. I don't remember which one it was.
That's
That's the
during
thing.
the first exploding of Shurima.
I think it still exists. I think. It could very easily be pretty fucked up in general, though.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
because I know there's a Runeterra card that's like last one to Nostrame is a rotten egg or something like that. So I think it still
It's
exists.
a very long title for a card.
yeah.
No, that's like a quote. Sorry, that's like a VO line. That's a fun card though. It is probably fucked up and in ruins though.
Wait, Nashrame. I'm trying to remember now. Was Nashrame the place
Where
with
the
that
first
headless
sun is.
statue? What was that?
Yeah, I
place?
wasn't sure if it was in that big
No.
story where Kaisa and Talia were going there.
All right, hold on. We're gonna look up Nashrame.
No,
specifically here.
Nostrame is not the
It's a
city.
coastal city. Oh, that's the one that has the festival where the people roll
Roll.
to celebrate
Oh,
Rammus.
they're the Rammus people.
Shuriman
Aw.
geography with the lore heads, right?
Okay, so I lied. It's still there.
Okay, thank goodness.
And
Okay.
they are wonderful people. Soraka's right.
Yeah.
We
Go
hang
back,
out there, too.
Soraka. Go see your old buds. Well, they're dead, but
But
it's been
the
100
new buds.
years or so. But
Sure.
Yeah, new buds.
Right.
Yeah. I like this idea for Soraka more, that she just kind of is hanging out at a place where she knows someone's going to wander around and need help, and then she just helps this like individual person like find a new job. Like that's that's
She
really
pulls
cute.
out. She's got like what color is your parachute book or whatever.
Or she's got that thing with like, I don't know what we call them. When you pick a color, R-E-D. Okay.
Demacia.
Demacia. D-E. Or she just plays MASH with them. Anyway, that's
Oddly
schoolyard, Soraka.
Lulu
Schoolyard.
plays Smash with Soraka in the Star Guardian thing later.
You know what? I need a like a whatever the school skin line is. I forget what that was called now.
Oh yeah, Academy.
Academy Soraka, and that's it. She just is trying to tell everyone's fortunes.
That would be pretty good. I would like
That'd
them
be
to
so
lean
good.
into the fortune teller stuff more, because it's weird
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, maybe it works. I don't know. In like the Ruination novel, and I guess in that other story, that she sometimes just seems to be hanging out somewhere as a spooky seer, just to give someone a vague, cryptic sort of like there are two paths in front of you type thing.
Well, that's a little more annoying, but yeah.
Like here, she's at least kind of like genial, and she gives them tea, like
Yeah.
this girl tea and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's just hanging out in the
I feel like the Ruination version of Soraka, she would have been like, you have two ways you can go. One upon the wolves and the other upon a snowy stone road that will lead to...
Well,
I don't know.
She saw what happened when she talked like that to Callista. She's like, wait, she was
like,
not
"Oh,
getting
fuck."
anything I was putting down.
didn't
Maybe I
understand.
should be more clear.
it would be
Hey,
funny.
if you go up there, you're going to die.
You're
We cool?
She would not have said that. And like Ruination Soraka would not have told her like she was gonna die.
Yeah.
You will find a faith that behests you. I don't know what behest means. That
Verily.
just came out of my mind. Verily.
But it's something olden people say.
That's the thing she
Yeah.
would have said.
Yeah.
Do you know what the problem is? I'm not drinking wine.
Oh.
And I've lost my smarts. The Gatorade's not doing it.
Right. But it's what. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna
But it's
say
what plants crave?
That's
No.
what plants crave. Yes.
There was one section here, right when she was healing that wolf, where it said, but the magic burned as it left her. She closed her eyes and lost herself in the pain for a moment.
John.
Soraka, you little freak.
Ew. No, I think you're just thinking of that Black Mirror episode.
She was just like,
Ew. Don't show them all your oaf.
I want to see your vinegar strokes, man. Come on.
I haven't heard that so long.
Wow, that one really got you. Holy shit.
It's because you took me back to like 2006 for a second. This is the last time I heard anyone say the words vinegar strokes. Shit. Oh, God.
That's pretty funny.
Anyway. We talked about that short story, right? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine. We liked it.
uh,
It's sometime in this.
What'd you think about the idea, real
go
quick, what'd you
ahead.
think about the idea that if, like, for people, they have to want to be healed for her magic to work? 'Cause she mentions
Oh, I gotta
that.
say, as someone who plays Soraka, that feels right because people are running away from me all the fucking time. I kind of like that. It makes her a little less busted. I feel like in the world of Runeterra, the idea that you could just heal anybody seems, a little overpowered.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
some people just don't want to. Some people don't want to be healed because, like, what's broken cannot always be put back
John-
together. Is the thing.
But probably shouldn't be. Unless it
Yeah.
should. Which it maybe. Perhaps.
But no.
Mhm.
But yeah. So I'll take us a little bit through the Dreaming Pool, which, as we mentioned, is mostly a Syndra story, but this is by Anthony Reynolds Lene. It's very long, but Soraka
By
has
Anthony Reynolds.
Yes, it's fair. Soraka has a short but very important part. So the whole time we're kind of following this feline Vestayan named Kalan, who is an Ionian who is currently fighting for Noxus. And he's currently in charge of Phalor, which is an Ionian fortress under the control of Noxus, where Syndra was imprisoned and cursed to relive the same memory over and over again in kind of an endless sleep. So he lives a pretty miserable life. Ionia has branded him a traitor, obviously, but also the Noxians hate him too because he's Ionian. So he's just kind of no one's happy with this dude. And then the other people the story follows are a group of Ionians who are trying to kill Syndra before Noxus accidentally or intentionally wakes her up. So they were all kind of set as guards for Phalor, with the express, like, do not ever let her wake up. If she ever wakes up, we're all fucked. So when Noxus took over Phalor, they're like, we gotta sneak in and kill her because Noxus is for sure gonna free her. So that's what they're trying to do. Unfortunately, not all of them actually have that plan. When they finally make it to her, 3 of them are like but maybe we wake her up and use her against Noxus? And the one is like, no, don't do that. No. And then Kalan, who's kind of her jailer now, jumps out and attacks them. And there's a big fight. And the one who does want to kill her is like, all right, I'm going to do this, jumps in and is about to stab her. And that kind of like wakes her. All the commotion ends up waking her up. And
that's all it took was like some bumps in the night. She's
yeah,
a white noise machine.
I know, they didn't put a white noise
She's
machine
just a
in there.
baby.
Oh my god.
And she wakes up mad. So the one who wants to kill him's name is Sirik, and her brother Oaken tries to reason with Syndra, saying like, hey, we're all Ionians here. You should help us as Ionians fight back Noxus. And Syndra's like, I mean, Ionians are the ones who put me here, so boof, and then just fucking eviscerates which was awesome. And then she recognizes the Kalan as the guy who's been kind of keeping watch of her. And so she, levitates and then picks him up and throws him in her prison and forces him to relive the same memory over and over again. Mm-hmm. And we get to see that memory on the very last page, which is a conversation that he was having with Soraka. And Soraka was essentially telling him, your life is going to go one of two ways. You'll fight with Ionia at the Battle of the Placidium, and you'll win. You'll be a hero. People will love you. You'll live with your, what do they call it? Your heart light and your children, and you'll be happy. But your kids are going to die before you. Or you can fight for Noxus. Noxus will win that fight. Or you'll fight for Noxus. They'll lose. But you'll get stationed in charge of the tower, Phalor, and people will hate you. Everyone will hate you. Your kids will hate you. Your country will hate you. Your Heartlight will hate you. Noxian will hate you, or Noxus will hate you. But your kids will live a long, happy life. And that's what we're left with, the memory that he has to relive over and over again that got him to where he is today.
Yeah, I think Soraka's got the very last lines. She's like, so you have a very hard choice in front of you, and he's like, it's not a hard choice at all. Right?
Yeah,
but
it had very Firefly vibes there.
Sure,
of course it did.
When Malcolm gets captured, Malcolm and Wash get captured, and he's like, but which one? And she's like, him, my husband. Like, oh, sorry. Did you want to finish your little speech?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one, the train job, where it's like, oh, it seems like a man's got a choice. It's like, well, I don't think he does.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
That's so good. But yeah, that's that story. Again, very clear directives. She was real clear about what was going to happen in both cases.
She really learned her lessons.
She's getting better. Yeah.
She's learning.
Props, Soraka. You're growing as a goat lady. Whatever you are.
It was a good story, though. I liked it. And she's mentioned in a few as well. She's mentioned in The Spear of Targon, which is another Anthony Reynolds Lene one, which is the Pantheon action piece, where a bunch of raiders are on their way to a temple to get the blood of Soraka. And Pantheon just fucking wrecks them. Although, from Soraka's little action piece, it kind of seems like Pantheon didn't need to do that, because I feel like Soraka would have been fine. She just summons comets.
Yeah, but then she feels
I don't know. In game,
it
does
it
does 10
That's
damage.
True. She would heal him.
Yeah, right. Those merc wolves fuck you up as Soraka. You're sitting there trying to use your Q on the wolf camp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then she was in The Blade Dancer, which is not technically canon anymore, probably. But that's the one where Karma was talking to Aurelia and tells her, I know of a sacred being who sacrificed even her immortality to save her people. She once treaded the heavens alongside the stars, but now she walks among the mortals. She protects as their equals, joining their struggles against death and suffering. She said to me, though starlight is eternal, it lies so far away. A small torch offers warmth to those around it, as fragile as it may be, and she found beauty in that.
I think she's still immortal, though, now. She really didn't give up any of that.
I guess I don't know if she is immortal, if she's just really old.
She's damn close.
One
Maybe she's
lyric.
like the
like
Runeterran, just a regular Runeterran age,
Runeterran
you know?
age.
Yeah.
Average
I know.
age in Runeterra is
500
skewed
something
for sure.
or whatever.
And then obviously she also shows up in the Ruination, where she tries to talk Callista out of going to the Blessed Isles, but because she's cryptic and vague and no one listens to Soraka anyway, it doesn't work.
That's why she like had this moment where she's like, nobody's listening to me anyway. I'm just gonna give them weird fucking messages. Screw it.
Right?
She got really
Test
angry
that
for a
out.
good century or two.
Yeah.
It's especially weird too, because if I'm remembering correctly, wasn't Callista didn't just stumble on her. They specifically went there looking for
Yeah.
we need. You know who we need?
Yeah, you're right.
We need to talk to Soraka. Soraka was like, "Don't do this." Fuck you, Soraka.
Yeah, why do you go to... it's like when your friend goes to relationship advice and you tell them and they don't fucking listen to you anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
People. Am I
People,
right?
It sucks to be Soraka. Just like,
Poor Soraka.
I wouldn't choose
I
it.
could tell you, but you're not going to like it. No one's going to listen to me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's canon, Soraka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got some old Soraka here.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So there's all right. I have two versions here.
Okay.
I have the original version, where she used to just be a regular old Ionian. She was a high priestess. She was a protector of the spirits, and she vowed to only use magic defensively. But then the Altrians, who, as remember from the other episode, are the old name for the Noxians.
Oh, that's right. Ultrians. Oh my god.
They attacked, and lots of people died. So now she wants to join the League and is going to use offensive magic.
She has like one ability.
Just dip your toe a little. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't do too much
you
damage. Don't harm too bad.
They give people mana because that's what Soraka used to
Right?
do.
Oh, man. God, so
Oh
good.
my god.
But the next version, which is better, so it said, reaching beyond the terrestrial firmament, Soraka was capable of invoking the power of the stars, evolving beyond her kin. That is, until she let her most primal of emotions rule her. Warwick, a mercenary chemist in the service of Noxus, had caused untold suffering and death amongst Soraka's people. Unstoppable anger and hatred welled within her, and she cursed the man to become a beast. Soraka lost much of her power for this misstep, sliding several steps down the evolutionary ladder in an instant. Though she's still a champion of the Ionian people, Soraka has joined the League of Legends in hopes of reversing her curse and redeeming herself in the eyes of the stars.
Fun stuff. So there is another bio that is not either of those two fucking things, but it's also not this, right? So what it is that Soraka is essentially kind of like Lilia. She's in an ancient sacred grove. It's all enchanted and shit, and she heals people. And one day a man named Warwick comes by with his dead wife, and he wants Soraka to res his dead wife. She doesn't have that ability, but she can heal his emotional suffering, but he doesn't want that. But he does start coming back. They kind of start forming an attachment. And then Warwick one day is like, hey, I found the men who killed my wife. I'm going to go kill them because that will ease my pain. And if I die, so be it. It's worth it. And Warwick goes off and she goes after, even though the stars are like, Soraka, don't go. She gets there. That's what the stars sound like. Just to be clear. She gets there. She sees Warwick fighting these dudes and she's trying to heal him, but they're doing too much damage, right? She heals him and they hurt him more. So, that's when she kind of does the bad shit and calls down the stars to hurt them and scare them off like the wolves, and that's what kind of severs her link with the stars, right? She doesn't de-evolve like the old bio, but she does she's kind of like Karma. She's lost the connection, and then she's sitting there healing Warwick, and she's like, well, at least Warwick's being healed, and then he fucking stabs her in the ribs, because apparently this whole shebang, this whole thing from day one was Warwick pulling some sort of scheme to try and get her heart, because I think that would revive his wife, and then she turns him into a werewolf as a fuck you because he just stabbed her.
You know what? Should
have gone to the Shadow Isle.
You know what would make getting your heart easier, Soraka? Making him a fucking wolf.
He'll never stab me again. You can't hold a blade with those clawed fingers. I'm safe now.
That's the dumbest fucking shit. That's so mean. I'm sorry. It's not good though. I mean, he probably had so many chances to stab her in the heart.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his plans were. It was just very funny to me that they, for like,
He's
like
a
a
chemist,
year.
not a general.
He was just a guy in this, though. He wasn't even a
He's just a
chemist.
dude.
He's just a dude. So I think it was like, they eventually like, okay, no, Warwick, we're going to put him in Zon. And then they're like, well, we got to do something with Soraka because she's got a whole like thing going on with Warwick. And so now she's here. But I loved that. I loved how much she changed in that little. It must have been like
That's
a year,
wild.
I would bet.
Right.
2 years,
It's a very
maybe.
small span
She was
of
like
time.
that. Yeah.
They really liked the idea of Soraka turning this man into a wolf.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's one of those things where like it's just baggage, right? The reason they even did that probably is because like, well, everyone knows that Soraka and Warwick have this big rivalry, and you can't drop the Soraka Warwick rivalry, everyone. And eventually they're like, yeah, I think we can because it doesn't
No
make a
one
lot of
cares.
sense, and no one
Right.
cares.
Everybody's very into our lore. We cannot drop.
Man, I'd love for them to have like an interaction now. Just as like a little nod to that one. He's
Yeah,
already
right.
a wolf, so it can't be that. But
Sure, yeah, some sort of like little. Well, you know, she needs a VO update anyway. She has very few lines at this point.
yeah.
That's true. I mean, maybe one of the wolves on Targon was Warwick. We don't know.
Ooh, is that the nod? Is that supposed to be the nod? Is her fucking those wolves up?
Oh, maybe. I think of that.
Oh man.
All right. God, this is a lot of JOJ
She's in a
stuff,
lot of
John.
JOJ. And it was much easier to find than Sona's, thank God.
Yeah, right.
So she shows up pretty early in issue 7, which is where Lee Sin has set himself on fire to protest the war.
Of course.
So in response to this, she said, it is a sad day when the peaceful monks of the Shojin monastery must resort to such extreme measures. Ionia is a land of enlightenment. When the only way to find help for one's cause is so horrible, the situation is more than grim. Hopefully the rest of Runeterra will finally take notice of the cruelty inflicted upon my people by the Noxian government.
I'm surprised they didn't have her like sitting there continuously healing him. Like that seems like something they would have done. Soraka has been lending, you know, medical aid to the monk to help ease.
Not making him feel better, just like
No,
healing
just-
him so he gets to keep burning free.
right.
Maybe that's what's happening with Brand right now. And then issue 10, Soraka agrees to fight for Ionia in the match against Noxus for the freedom of Ionia because she was part of the first match and apparently she sucked real bad.
I loved that line. I loved it. Like it really
That
reinforced
they
something.
actually said that?
Oh yeah, apparently she got giga camped by Warwick and Singed because they fucking hate her. So she got like just completely targeted in the last match, and she wants to make up for feeding so fucking hard. But I was thinking about it, I was like, imagine you're just some guy in Runeterra, whether or not like you're in an occupied territory is what it depends on if like XXX Sephiroth 69 XX like feeds super hard in a game of League. Imagine that. Imagine your future is tied to the average League solo queue right now.
I hope there's someone listening to this and there's someone who name is
my
Sephiroth
time.
69 and they're like, wait, what the fuck?
That's right, I'm
people
calling
need
you
me.
out.
It's your fault, you fucking fed.
Fucking fed, man. Oh shit.
Now, in issue 11, in response to the stellar job that Singed did at killing all the rodents in Ionia, Soraka said, Noxus invades my beloved island, introduces unnatural pests, and then expects to solve this crisis with corrosive chemicals and destruction. We will not stand for this assault on our fragile land. The League of Legends must recognize this occupation for what it is, a clear disregard for life and beauty in the name of profit.
This is accent you've given Soraka.
That's what
She's
she sounds like.
offended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's old Soraka VO.
Yeah, I did new Soraka. That's old Soraka.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
And that, you know, them exterminating using dangerous chemicals does get it the attention it needs. So now we can save Ionia through another fight. Fuck
Cool.
you, Lee Sin. Nah, just kidding. It was Lee Sin. So, issue 12, Ionia wins against Noxus. Specifically, she has a little hero moment here. It said the Noxian defense was ultimately overwhelmed by the zealous Ionians when Soraka led the final push to destroy the Nexus in the Noxian base. It was a bittersweet end to the match, with Soraka avenging her poor performance during the original match of Ionia in the Trial of the Isle 7 years ago.
I'd like to go watch that show match at some point. I just want to go back and watch that old shit. See the craziness that was that old League of Legends lore match.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got to still be around, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
This was God. Do you remember? This must have been back when old spectate mode was in.
Yeah, where there's like just a sixth,
There's just a
person.
sixth person on each team that just stays in the base.
Oh my god.
And when they just don't level up, right? When they first implemented it too, you could like camp them with globals, and then Riot was like, oh, we shouldn't be able to do that. Let's just make them invulnerable in there.
Yeah, I definitely found the match. It is up. It's on the LoL Esports channel, January of 2013, and I'm looking in the custom game lobby, and I see a little sixth person down there.
Nice.
Good
So
shit.
bananas.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my god.
Now, next up is issue 16 with a mailbag of justice.
Woo.
So, since the victory in Ionia over Noxus, I started to seek information about Master Leto's son, Zelos. Zelos has left Demacia long ago to seek assistance, and as an Ionian summoner and former soldier, I cannot help but wonder about him. What is his mission status? And can Aurelia herself comment on the last contact she's had with her brother?
Aurelia has a brother?
Yeah, Zelos.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Oh my god. Okay.
I haven't heard a word from my brother, nor any news or rumor of him since the day he left for Demacia. Soraka once told me that if I reach with my heart to the stars every night, he'll know I'm here and perhaps find a way home. I haven't missed a night.
She really was.
That was back when she was giving shitty advice.
Right. She really was like Lilia in various ways. Like, oh,
Right?
if you dream of him, your dream will find his dream, and your heart and my heart and Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I love it when the players role play in the Journal of Justice, like mailbag stuff. It's great.
And then the next one is another mailbag of justice with another fun role player.
Ooh.
Trundle, since your entry into the league, you've borne the curse of the Rugosk tribe alone, seeking a means of dispelling it entirely, which, we'll get into with the old Trundle shit for sure later.
Mm-hmm.
Within the league, there seems to be many champions capable of fairly potent healing magic. Soraka, for instance. Have you spoken with her or with any champions versed in curative magic about the burden you bear? And the way that Trundle's text is written here just really makes him sound like a fucking New Yorker.
Yes, I was gonna ask you to do it with a New York accent. I couldn't. Oh my god!
You gotta understand something, summoners. And let me just clarify: it was not written. You gotta or you've got to or anything like that. This is Y''gotta. You gotta understand something, summoners. It's a curse, not a wound. Yeah, it looks bad, and you'd think you could just slap a healing spell on it and it'd clear right up. But it's not so simple, believe me. Good thing is, healing spells help me out. Ease the pain a little. And Soraka, I'd never go asking for a handout. But Soraka's almost too generous. Good healing magic's like a good massage, I'm telling you. And nobody's gonna give me a massage these days.
I'm trundling here. Damn, old Trundle was hella fucking cool.
Right?
Good shit.
And now Judgment. She's a little too old for her own Judgment. But as we talked about, she does show up in Karma's Judgment. Where Karma... Soraka's actually kind of the one entering Karma's mind. That's where we relive that horrific sight of all of Karma's people just being fucking melted and shit, and Soraka being there and
watching them and not doing anything to help.
then at the end, Soraka was like, how does it feel exposing your mind? And Karma's like, how does it feel watching all those people die and not doing anything?
Was it actually Soraka, or was it a summoner just in
I think
her
it's just... Yeah, I think they're all fakeys, right?
Yeah,
I don't think they ever
always.
really show up, except for the one Swain one where he just randomly,
that's true. Or
shit, it's actually Swain.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Oh, no. Now, get back to your corners of the room, boy.
Right. You gotta separate you two.
Now she's in a few cinematics. She's in Clash of Fates. You know, she's up on that cliff top with the rest of them.
Up on the cliff top.
She's in Monuments of Power, which is a cinematic for the Legends of Runeterra expansion for Shyvana Soraka and Tom Kench, which is actually pretty cool. I missed it for the Shyvana episode, but it's pretty neat.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. For being like less than a minute, right? It's exceptionally
it's like very
short.
quick.
Yeah.
But each of the people get, some pretty cool shit. Tom Kench just fucking tidal waves over Bilgewater. Shyvana, big flamey dragon. And I do forget what Soraka.
The thing is, I can only think about what the actual card is. She's just up on Targon, but I don't remember what she looks like. I bet you she's made of stars or some shit, is what I would imagine.
That makes sense. Fucking Soraka. And she's also in the Mac client available.
Now, is she?
So maybe not her specifically.
Just a banana, like a bunch of bananas.
So I had missed this, I think, watching it before, but there's one point where Mundo kind of unveils an entire cabinet of weapons, and right on the very end there is just a single banana resting.
Really?
I was joking. It's just a single banana. Shut the fuck up. Soraka's in this, and it's a fucking banana.
I mean,
I got a few
that's as
Sorakas
much
in my
a
kitchen
Soraka
right now.
as we're ever gonna get.
Right? I've got 4 Sorakas upstairs.
My baby
We
was
had a
eating
bunch of
Soraka.
Sorakas before, Mark.
Oh, well.
Great out, dude.
You know what? I fucking hate Soraka, okay? And I just saw it, and I lost my fucking mind.
I keep bananas on like a little hook, and I had a whole bunch of them. Mark was over for D&D. I was like, Mark, can you get me a banana? He got me a banana, and then I look over 3 minutes later, and all of the bananas had peeled off and had fallen, still hanging onto it, but they'd all been unpeeled, and I don't know how the fuck he did that. I still can't.
It's like an evil withering
Anyway, we all had to
touch.
eat bananas.
we had to eat a lot of bananas that day.
Oh no, everyone got potassium. I'm sorry. Keep y'all from cramping.
That was huge.
I had already been potassed.
Anyway. Oh, skins. God, she has a lot of skins.
She has a lot of.
So
I was
sorry, honey.
surprised, honestly, and she's part of a couple lengthy ones. So we'll start at the top. Ages of Runeterra, Other Roads. A feather knight flaps its wings, and halfway across Runeterra, an ocean drake surfaces. Our lives play out, fickle as words on parchment. The paths before us, unknown and exciting. What if the road taken instead was the one less traveled?
Oh my god.
This one is Divine Soraka, which obviously is if she didn't give up her immortality, but there's no lore for it.
Okay. Is this the blue one?
No, I think that's
the skins are not-
Dryad.
Loading for me.
Although, wait, no. This one, I think this one is the blue one. Dryad's the green one.
Okay, yes, yeah. Human Soraka, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Rift Quest. Danger lurks in the land of Runeterra. Powerful monsters, dastardly sorcerers, and mythical creatures roam unchecked. Gather your friends and create your own adventure for 3 to 5 players, vanquishing evil with each roll of the die. Do you have what it takes to save the world and become a legend of Rift Quest? And this one is Celestine Soraka, who's playing a battle priestess. And there is also no lore in this one because it was obvious she was just shoved in there after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was trying to figure out which one this was.
Although her role in this as battle priestess is a nod to the fact that this skin was, I'm pretty sure, originally supposed to be battle priestess Soraka, but it got like leaked early and people weren't super happy with it, and they were like, we're working on it, it'll be cool when it comes out, guys, and they kind of revamped it.
Interesting. That sounds that sounds familiar. I mean, it's a long time ago, so I'm curious now. I want to know what it looked like beforehand.
Pretty cool, but not cool enough.
Really?
And then she's in Eclipse/Elderwood. In the beginning, the old gods reigned. So great was humankind's love for them that one dared to make them a part of her flesh forever. She devoured the sun itself, and descending from that empty heaven, inspired her knights to decimate all those that remained. Centuries later, they stand, the only hope against the rising coven's darkness. This one is Dryad Soraka. Another one clearly thrown in after the fact, but this one does have lore. Too many forget that the heart of the Elderwood was once gentle and kind. Within its confines rested Fae, Sylvans, and Dryads. Creatures from another age who looked upon humanity with curious eyes. Now only a scattered few remain, and fewer still, like Soraka, who regard humans fondly.
Very good.
Now we got The Grind, which is what high society is a part of now. The only thing more impressive than their wealth is their tax avoidance skills. This is...
The laugh is in there, too.
It's implied. This is Order of the Banana Soraka. Origins of the Order of the Banana date back nearly a year, when the idea of throwing a banana as a weapon first occurred to Soraka. Her and her fellow Bananaites swore an oath to uphold the Order of the Banana, promising to fling the yellow produce at anyone who decided to worship a different fruit, especially pomegranates. So...
Why is this high society? What the fuck is going on?
I think just because it got released the same time as like Archduke Nasus, and
he's in the
like,
splash.
Yeah, it was like
okay.
a whole
Gotcha.
A whole April Fool's foiled again. A whole April Fool's thing.
I guess I just assumed like April Fool's would have its own like April Fool's AU or something, not get lumped into the grind.
So.
But yeah.
But no,
Okay.
most April Fool's shit ends up somewhere else. We've got Project Program, an advanced security algorithm created by the Project Corporation. The program quietly evolved sentience before altering its original directive. Infecting machines across the city, it has determined that the ultimate threat to humanity's safety is humanity itself.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, it's very, very Ultron. And this one's Program Soraka. Program Soraka was created as a support bot to protect humanity's fragile nature, offering technological salvation at the hands of a mechanical angel. Infiltrated by corrupt code, it is unclear if this mission of mercy remains her prime directive. Who knows? And then we've got Verses, where she has 2 skins.
Oh, yeah.
All things are born from conflict. None can escape it. Harmony is an illusion, and only those who embrace that illusion will reap life's greatest rewards. And this is split into Dawnbringer and Nightbringer. So for Dawnbringer, order and light reign through deities of dawn, bringing structure to nascent worlds locked in conflict with the forces of light. Dawnbringer Soraka. A child of the gods, born when chaos slew order, Soraka contains within her the powers of both Riven and Yasuo. To end the conflict of the gods, she has embraced the light to pierce the darkness, drawing on the powers of dawn to bring order to the chaotic world. And now imagine that, but reversed for Nightbringer.
Really? Is it really like
A
1-to-1?
child of the gods, born when chaos slew order. To end the conflict of the gods, she has embraced the darkness to soothe the blinding light, drawing on the powers of night to create chaos and change in a too-static world.
That's great. I love that. It's like a find replace. Instead of chaos order, we've got chaos. Instead of light, we have dark. Yeah.
Next up, we got let's move to a light one, have a little fun. We got cafe cuties.
I love these.
Good food is magic. Literally. In a world of elegant tea times and enchanted pastries, mages make magical macarons, craft charmed croissants, and serve up sorcerous scones to scores of customers eager to get a taste. This is Cafe Cutie Soraka. Good food can be healing, and Soraka works hard to imbue every single pastry she makes with delicious magic that leaves her customers feeling more sprightly than when they first walked in. Though her origins are mysterious, the whole cafe agrees Soraka's work is out of this world. Good one, guys. Fun fact about this one. All the champions in this AU have like a little butler who's just like a cute little thing. And Soraka's butler name in this AU is Moissant. It's a little cat that's also a croissant.
Great. Rebecca's like ashamed. Or like disappointed. I don't know. There's something happening over there.
Why would you be ashamed and or disappointed? Next up, we got Spirit Blossom. The Spirit Blossom Festival is an ancient and celebrated time in Ionia. When the door to the spirit world is opened, the dead return to their loved ones, and spirits of all manner turn their eyes towards the living. From the benevolent Kanmai to the obsessive Akana, their stories play out again and again, like shadows on a paper lantern. And this is Spirit Blossom Soraka. In a secluded corner of the Akana forest, Soraka weeps for those she's lost. Each life cut short she longed to save, but for as many that welcome her as a savior, there are others who see her powers as a merciless cruelty. To the spirit of pity, death is never a blessing.
Okay.
I love how aside from her like normal splash out, all of them cut off like before her goat feet show. They're like, get those out of there. They don't make any sense. So it's like she has like regular legs and then like it just bends all fucky at the very bottom. So if you didn't know she had goat feet, you'd be like, what the hell have they done? Is that her foot? Why does it look like that?
It's like an AI made it and it doesn't know how to handle the feet.
Yeah.
That is funny. Fuck, that's a really good catch.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. I'm looking at the splashes.
None of them have it. Except, I guess the Celestine one does.
It's an old one.
That's an old one, yeah.
Even the other old ones don't. Anyway.
Next up, we got Death Sworn. Eager to claim more souls for the underworld, Death sends the souls of fallen warriors as Death Sworn back to the mortal plane where they serve their master's terrible bidding with relish.
Relish.
Happiness.
I prefer ketchup on my hot dogs. Yeah. We have the same fucking dumbass joke. I'm really sorry.
This was Reaper Soraka.
You can see your goat feet in this one.
With his silver tongue, Twisted Fate tricked the lords of the living to offer their beloved star child to death in exchange for their own immortality. Little did they know, eternal life without their avatar of compassion and mercy would result only in eternal suffering.
Ooh, fucking hardcore.
Yeah. Fun fact about this one, despite Twisted Fate being referenced here in this story, and him having an underworld skin, it's not actually part of this AU. He has no skins in this AU.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah. And then we got a Snowdown Showdown. Within the magical Winterlands, the Poro King reigns supreme, spreading joy and merriment to all of his court. Even as others work to usurp the king, all share a common love for winter's wonders. This is Winter Wonder, Soraka. A kindly duchess within the court of the Poro King, Soraka's lands are filled with beautiful animals made of pristine enchanted ice. These menageries stretch for miles, tended by her retainers. This one has a little bit of a cinematic to go along with it. This one's The Day Before Snowdown, which is the cute poem about the Poro King sending Nico to recruit warriors to defeat the Ice King Twitch. So she recruits people, including Soraka. At the end, They fight, but they end up becoming friends. And then the Poro King comes out and says that was his plan all along. And then Soraka was like, well, then why did you let us fight then? And the Poro King was like, oh, I'm getting tired. I should probably call it a night now. And then Soraka was like, also, what is KDA Akali doing here? And then the camera pans out and you see KDA Akali just fucking bopping out in the corner.
What?
And he's like, I really must be going, and disappears.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was fun.
Just wanted to watch them Jello fight. What a pervert. Alright, Johnny, save the best for last.
Actually, real quick first.
Oh.
KDA. Seraphine has a poster of Star Guardian Soraka on her wall. Which brings us to... Star Guardian Season 2. Veteran Star Guardians Ari and Misfortune suddenly reappear in Valoran City, having rebuilt their team after an unknown event destroyed their previous squad. Seeking to defy the destiny of every Star Guardian who takes up their oath, they join the fight alongside Lux and company as void beasts descend upon the city. This one, Star Guardian Soraka. A gentle soul with a mysterious origin among the stars, Soraka protects the team on their perilous missions from behind the front lines. Despite her fragile appearance, the second year carries immense healing power, unparalleled by any Guardian the team has encountered. Her unprecedented command of the Starlight and willingness to put everyone else's needs ahead of hers has earned the team's trust and respect. The ever-humble warrior, Soraka, only shyly accepts her responsibility. Like Lulu, she has a special connection to the stars, though she and her team do not fully understand it yet. And her magical medium is named Shisa. Grumpy and overprotective, Shisa guards Soraka from anything that could threaten her safety, including her own naivete. The tenacious creature is often frustrated by Soraka's trusting nature, and will throw itself into a fit or sulk for a good while afterwards, although red bean ice cream has been known to cut its tantrum time down by half. And there's a short cinematic for this, A New Horizon, which is mostly just an Ari transformation cinematic, but Soraka does show up in the final freeze frame, where Ari's got her whole team there, and we see her in the beginning flying away with just a random,
Banana.
beam of color.
Oh.
Banana. And then there's a bunch of short stories. So Starfall is the one where, what's her name? Lux brings her team onto that team building retreat, and then they meet Ari's team, who's just way fucking better than them in just like every way. And Soraka's on that team. During the final fight, Soraka does some healing and works with Janna to contain a horde of small monsters from coming up through a chasm, but that's pretty much her part in the story. She is referred to as the Quiet One, and as such does not have a lot of dialogue.
Okay.
This will be the case for most of the stories. So Slumber Party Summoner, it's probably where she talks the most. Soraka shows up to Lux's party with pastries from Pantheon's bakery. I love this little detail. As she's walking into the house, she passes her the box of pastries and then whispers in her ear, "Cinnamon rolls."
Is she like that character in Pitch Perfect?
I literally
really?
said that whole scene had big Pitch Perfect vibes. There's this one character who everything she says is just like, but
Yeah,
like
she's
she sings the weirdest fucking shit the whole time. I hate my twin.
It's the only one I remembered. It was I ate my twin in the womb. Great fucking movie.
So as the party is awkwardly progressing, Soraka asks where Jinx is. And then when they move on to Truth or Dare, Janna asks Soraka, "What do you remember?" And, it seems like she was going to continue the question, but Soraka cuts her off and launches into a big description of what happened earlier that day. And Poppy's like, no, these are supposed to be true or false questions. Janna, try again. So Janna was like, all right, well, do you remember a time before the first light was whole? And she says, yes. And
this is exactly what the slumber parties were like that I had as a girl.
Yeah.
But in Truth or Dare, you don't have to ask just yes, like true or false, yes or no questions, right? You can ask someone to like, right?
Hey, this is Star Guardian Truth or Dare.
Fuck me, sorry.
Poppy laid the rules out at the beginning, and she's a real rule stickler in this story.
Okay.
Which, for the record, Lux wants to learn a lot more about. Like, shit, you remember the first star? Like, the way we get all these you remember? And Poppy's like, no, just one question.
Okay.
Next. And Lux is like, I have to remember to follow up with her about that later. Spoiler alert, never happens. No one ever follows up with her about that later. We never find out anything.
She's the quiet one.
Yeah, she's the quiet one. So... They move on. Soraka asks Ezreal truth or dare. He says dare, so she dares him to do that portal trick he does with his familiar Yuto. So he does, but accidentally brings back an interdimensional hitchhiking demon back with him, which they promptly work together to destroy. And, after a little chaos, they become friends. And this is where Pajama Guardian Soraka skin is from. The other girls, and Ezreal, seemed excited for the pillow fights and staying up all night talking. Soraka was most excited for the cinnamon rolls she brought from Pantheon's pastries. But nothing makes her happier than seeing her friends smiling and laughing.
I'm loving this image of she buys a dozen and she's scarfing them on the way there. It's like, I brought 5 cinnamon rolls for everybody.
She takes one out of the box on her way in the door. Four cinnamon rolls.
Kill for a cinnamon roll.
Yeah, we gotta stop talking about it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things in the world. There's cinnamon rolls.
Don't worry. Well, I'll move on to the next story. The Twilight Star, which Soraka could not be in because she was working at Pantheon's bakeries making cinnamon rolls.
Oh, goddamn.
And then in the Twin Stars story, Soraka and Janna are at a mall at the front of the food.
At a Cinnabon.
At a Cinnabon.
At a Cinnabon. This is a story where both their crews are kind of hanging at a mall, and then Zaya and Rakan and Zoe come in and just fucking wreck the place, and that's when that big attack happened. So before that, Soraka and Janna are at the front of a food court line trying to out-polite each other, basically, with after yous. No, after you. And while they're doing this, a massive line has built up behind them.
Are they being dicks about it, or are they very genuinely
Oh, no, very genuine, there's...
Okay.
But then, the mall gets attacked. And so Janna and Soraka are the ones ushering people to the exits, and Soraka's essentially creating... You know how in a movie theater they've got those lit up aisles that show you where the exits are? She's essentially creating those out of stars to show people where the exits are.
We're very stupid.
When we panic, we're not good at directions.
I'll follow some lights, though.
During all the fighting later, Soraka and Janna show up to save Misfortune from evil Zaya. Although, if we're being honest, it was mostly Janna, and Soraka was just kind of there. Then in the aftermath...
She was full of cinnamon rolls.
She was full to bursting.
Please don't say full to bursting. I don't know why.
She's ready to cinnaburst.
That's their collab with Starburst.
Oh, now you put it out into the world and it's going to happen. My
Welcome.
squad's going to be on it. So yeah, then in the aftermath, there are basically remnants of Zoe's dark bubbles everywhere because they don't disappear. They just have dark, dark hole shit everywhere, and no one knows how to get rid of them. And Soraka's like, no, I can take care of this. I know how to do this. But mostly she's just kind of hanging out. She's out and about.
Did she get rid of the black holes?
Probably.
Oh, we don't see that. Okay.
No, because that would be following Soraka action. Yeah. And that's not what we're here for.
It just cuts to her alone, on her hands and knees, scrubbing black holes out. Fucking hate this shit.
I'm the only one who knows that club soda is the only thing to get.
You gotta blot that shit.
And this is where Prestige Star Guardian Soraka comes in. So, leaving the planet behind with Zaya and the other Star Guardians, Soraka's full powers have been unlocked by her undying love for her friends, in the hopes that one day they will find their companion lost in the final battle with the Twilight Star and be a family once again. This was kind of, this was if Rakan fully sacrificed himself to save Zaya.
Aw.
Yeah.
Mm.
But that's Star Guardian, y'all.
Good job. She's kind of. It's kind of a shame she's kind of shuffled off to the corner. A lot of it seems
She
like.
really is. Like of all the Star Guardian, I feel like literally all of them have cooler moments than she does.
Yeah, or like some things. It seems like maybe in the later ones they did it. I don't know. Just like from what you've told me throughout the seasons, like maybe the later ones, each one has a little more of like a defined, like at least a really strong quirk and sort of thing that they do. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I don't know that that's the case, but
That's I got a few fun facts. Not too many. Not
Sure.
too few. Just the right amount.
little Goldilocks zone on the fun facts.
Original Soraka and Legends of Runeterra Soraka are voiced by Lisa Lindsley. And Soraka's ability icons have been changed twice already. The first time for her visual update, and the second time for her gameplay update.
Mm.
Soraka is one of the early champions who did not have a champion theme. So Elementalist Lux's theme was used for her reveal in Legends of Runeterra.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And some old lore fun facts. Original Soraka, we mentioned that one already. Soraka revived a nearly deceased Aurelia during the Noxian invasion of Ionia, and did so by binding her life force to her He-10 blades.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
The fuck does that
Which
happen?
I feel like we vaguely we like really skipped over it during the Aurelia episode, I think, but it sounded very vaguely familiar. It may have just
Okay.
ended up as a fun fact.
Maybe. It didn't sound familiar. Doesn't sound familiar to me at all. But
And then, due to Karthus being a being that embodies death, and Soraka being a celestial deity of life, they are both rivals, as reflected in both their ultimate abilities. One damaging everyone and one healing everyone. And finally, her jacket used to change color between pink or yellow, depending on which team she was on.
Oh.
really, jacket like just her base skin.
Yeah, just the olden days.
Yeah, the bomber jacket she wears,
It's like jacket. Like, did she? Yeah. Oh yeah. Is it? It's more like a. I guess it. I always thought it was more like a cape. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what she looks like in game. Or you mean like her tabard that
Bad.
like?
Probably the.
I don't know. This is old
The
Soraka
tabard.
anyway, so who the fuck knows?
I know, yeah. Pfft, who fucking cares? We'll just have to. Well, I mean, when we watch that, when we watch the old video of the show match, I guess. We'll
Oh
see.
sure. Yeah, we'll see.
Soraka's dance references a commercial for Chiquita Bananas.
Yeah.
In the ultra rapid fire game mode, which we're seeing a lot of recently,
Yeah.
Soraka was deemed overpowered, obnoxious, and was ultimately disabled in non-custom games. However, she was re-enabled in Future Earth and A-Earth.
Oh, good.
They brought her back.
Yeah, I feel like the last 3 or 4 have all had that fun fact.
Right? It's weird.
Yeah.
She's got them all in a row. Her ability, Wish, could be a reference to the mage spell Wish in Dungeons & Dragons, as one of the functions of that spell is healing your entire party.
Oh, I was thinking like the. I was thinking of a different wish, like the big level 9 one, where it's like you can actually just get a wish.
You actually have a wish.
It is
Yeah.
that one, but that's one of the if you look at like the, because they have like a few pre-mades, like, oh, how can I use this
Oh, like
spell?
example,
One of
like-
those things is like you can heal all creatures within a certain radius up to full health, remove all of their things, like a greater restoration spell too, and then
Okay.
obviously if you've got a wish, you want to do something way cooler, but in a pinch, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
If you're gonna TKO, I mean,
Right. Yeah. Sure.
or TPK.
TPK.
rather.
TK.
And then Soraka is one of only 4 champions who uses health as a resource for their abilities. The other 3 being Mundo, Vlad, and Zach.
Yeah.
Those were great fun facts, honey. And
Thanks.
just the right amount. Not enough cinnamon rolls, though.
Fun fact, cinnamon rolls. Fucking delicious!
Guess where I'm going tomorrow morning? Somewhere to get cinnamon rolls. I don't know
I
where.
was gonna say, Cinnabon run? Like,
I don't even know where there would be a Cinnabon around us.
God, there's probably one. at
there's
the
some
Providence
mall
Mall.
somewhere.
There's like
yeah.
15
I'm not going
minutes
to
away
Providence. Absolutely not. I'll go to the grocery store. Actually, I'll probably lose the passion for this by tomorrow morning while I'm wrestling our 1-year-old.
That's fair.
Or almost
I
1-year-old.
was gonna say almost.
Almost.
So close.
I know, like 10 days.
So that was Soraka.
That was Soraka. Any final thoughts?
I kind of said it about the short story. Sorry, but I really do wish that it had been longer, because it felt like that was sort of like that was the start, and then we'd have a whole sequence of them like actually conversing, and I feel like that would be a good vehicle to understand the celestial shit more. Is through Soraka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have, if her bio was stronger and she had another short story, I would have been fine if it cut off there, because I could kind of see that being a fun place to cut off. But lacking those 2 things, just put that in this story.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening. We have some merch, and I said the link wrong, apparently, in the last episode even as well, even though we tried so hard to figure it out.
We were staring at the hyperlink.
I
while
know.
saying it
I'm so
incorrectly.
sorry. I'm going to put it in right now properly. I edited it in the Sona one as well, so the link should be right there. But yeah, it's bonfire.com/store/league- of Loreheads, which is that's a lot. It's not as cool to say. Should we get like a bit.ly link or something for this? We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got like shirts and sweatshirts. I already talked about there's
If
stuff
you're on
there.
YouTube, there'll be a link to it, not just in the description, but also in the cards on the video itself. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, click the upper right-hand corner.
I'll try to remember to put it in. I probably have forgotten. I'm really sorry about that.
I don't remember which side I ended up on in the
People
videos.
are just
well, click it. Just start clicking randomly. Eventually, it will take you there.
big spider on the ceiling. Not a fan of that. We have a Twitter. It's Loreheads. We have a Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Loreheads. John streams ARAMs and TFT with viewers on Saturdays in the evening, and then I try to do Mondays or Tuesdays. I did Tuesday last week. We play Summoner's Rift. I'm not hitting my eyes out that spider. I don't like spiders. Play Summoner's Rift with buds and ARAMs with buds. We have a YouTube, like we talked about, and a Discord. There's a link in the description.
Rebecca's like out of the room.
And-
She was like backing
And,
up.
and we have a Patreon.
I didn't get to that yet.
Oh, okay.
John,
You,
I was
you
just...
looked like you were stopping talking. You're like,
It's like,
I've done my bit.
If I keep talking in that fucking...
Quiet for now.
It's
And we have a
injuring the spider.
Patreon. Thank you to our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons. Big Man Gnomes, King of Hearts, Shupa Moustache, Trideca, and if anyone has any adult diapers, please send them my way. I'm fresh out. You guys are all great, and if
Equally great.
If you came to me for a prediction or what's it called? Prophecy, I would be very clear and give you clear answers, and I'd give you a special good one, even though us seers aren't supposed to do that.
And a
Ooh.
cinnamon roll.
And a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
And a banana.
Here's a well-balanced breakfast. Half a grapefruit, glass of milk, and a glass of orange juice. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff here. Please be sure to join us next week, y'all. It's time. I'm so excited. We're going to talk about the Noxian Grand General, Swain.
And we'll be joined.
Oh, yeah.
A very special guest, Shupa Moustache. be joining us.
Oh,
Who
lovely.
we've heard his name a bunch of times here. Yeah.
The legend, the myth.
The mustache. John, go kill that spider.
Stop the recording.